being able to come back live. Not feeling too good, but I wanted to come back live because we have a lot of things going on today. Um, we looked at the title. The title says real rates versus nominal rates. And I kind of want to get into that because what's going to really happen, family, is when I talk about your money being in banks, what's about to happen is going to really affect your money. So I want to come back with some real news today. Let's see what we got up in here. Look out, Alfonso. I see you. AA Black Pistol. Y'all still up. How you doing, Deborah? Marcus, what it do? DJ in the house. I see you. ADM, I got you. What it do? Justin, what's going on? All right. So I wanted to come back with some real news tonight on some real rates versus nominal rates. Uh, if you've been checking things out, the Federal Reserve is going to cut interest rates. All right. Now think about this for a minute, family. What central bank cuts interest rates when the economy is doing great, or when the consumer spending is up, when unemployment is down? Okay, all these things that's supposed to be great about the economy, but the Federal Reserve is about to lower interest rates. But I want to come back with some news about this because it's going to affect your money if you don't really pay attention to what's going on. All right. Now, right now, our rates are at 0.50%. Now, if you go back to 2008, when the market crashed, the rates was at 4.5%. All right. Now, right now, we're at 0.50%. If the Federal Reserve comes in and cut interest rates 3 times this year, like they said they're going to cut interest rates, then that means that the interest rate is going to be in the negative. Now, how that's going to affect you? I told you guys earlier about putting your money in high yield bank accounts, high yield savings accounts, because if the interest is negative, then that means all your money that's in savings accounts right now, if they're only giving you 0.03% or 0.1%, then just imagine how much less you're going to get now. So you're going to be actually paying the banks to have a savings account. See, this is information they're not going to tell you. That's why they're telling you stuff about, the Democratic presidential debates going on. They're not going to mention this. You did? And that's going to happen here in September. They're supposed to cut rates twice in September. So if you have your money in savings accounts that's not giving you 2% or over 1.5%, then your money, you're going to lose some money. And that's the difference between real rates and nominal rates. All right. And your bank is going to tell you that, well, we're going to give you 0.1% or we're going to give you 0.2%. But if they lower it, okay, interest rates, then even at those high yield interest banks, like Ally, those banks that I had suggested back in the day in all the videos, that means they're even coming down. So imagine how it's going to affect you if you have your money in banks that's only giving you 0.1 or less than that. You've actually paying the banks to keep your money in there. All right? And that's coming soon. Okay, well, what it do? Wow, man, that's crazy. And that's crazy. You did? So, family, make sure you hit the notification button. If you're not getting a notification, man, I'm really tripping on that because, cash used to get those. All right? So, family, like I said, real rates versus nominal rates. Make sure you're getting your money. And let's not be lazy on this because, see, what happens is we get so caught up in all the other stuff that's going on during the day, work, and this and that, and the third. But take the time and check your finances out. Because the only way, actually, when this market crash, because it's going to crash. What country want to lower interest rates if they have a great economy? And if you're paying attention to the political news that's going on, Trump just said he wants the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates to the negative. Now, family, think about this, and I just want to kind of give some financial information out of it from an educational standpoint so you can kind of understand from layman's terms what this stuff means. So when they talk about, we want Federal Reserve to lower interest rates to the negative, well, think about this for a minute. What bank is want to give you a loan, right? And then at the end of the long term, the bank got to pay you money. That's what happens when the rates are negative. And so banks not benefiting from that. And so when you have that type of stuff that's going on and stuff that's being thrown out there, remember, the Federal Reserve has already agreed to lower interest rates. And if they lower interest rates 3 times this year, that's in the negative. Right now, family, it's already at 0.5%, 0.50%. So if they lower interest rates, which they're going to lower the next in September, which is September, they're going to lower 2 times in September. So if they lower them again soon, they're going to lower them 25 basis points. What that means is they're going to go from 0.5 to 0.25. And if they're talking about lowering them 3 times, two more times after that, that's another 25 basis point. Or they may even go ahead and go 50 basis points, which would then put it in the negative. So if your money in banks, just know you're really losing a lot of money, because now banks don't even have to pay you to put it in their banks for savings accounts, that is. And then what's going to happen, banks are going to start, like all that free checking stuff that's going on, they're going to stop that, because banks not going to be able to make any money if it's a negative interest rates. And then right now, trying to get a loan, it's going to be really hard trying to get a loan. Hey, Ashton, how you doing? Okay. So if just looking at it from a mathematical standpoint, family, this is stuff that can affect your capital. Okay. So when you and so with that happening, then you know that the prices are going to go up. If you have negative interest rates, then they're going to put more money into the system. You put more money into the system, prices are going to go up. So now you're going to look at, you're losing money by having your money in these banks that's not giving you anything, any interest on it, and the price is going up. So now your money's not buying the same thing it bought last year, right? And so kind of look into that, family, and make sure you got to do some due diligence. Now on the positive side of that, if it's negative interest rates, then this would be a great opportunity if you have capital to invest in real estate or get you some land or whatever, because banks will actually be paying you to give them loans. See, when the government comes in or when the Federal Reserve comes in and do something like this, and this is called fiscal policy, when they do something like this, the banks are affected. Now the banks just can't sit on cash. They have to loan it out. And so, I mean, if you have an opportunity, you want to buy real estate, if you have some good property out there that you kind of research and you want to, this would be a great opportunity to do it. Because we have to kind of look at the push-pull effect of how this economy is working. Yes, we're in a bubble. Yes, it's personally the stock market is overvalued, of course, but from a mortgage, real estate standpoint, buying land standpoint, I mean, if they lower interest rates to the negative, then that means you don't have to pay as much for a loan, and so your monthly payments on property, on assets will be lower. So, I mean, in actuality, that's how they can prop up this notion that this is a good economy, because if it's negative interest rates, then of course consumers will have an opportunity to get loans if you have money. But let's think about this for a minute. Banks are still charging 15%, 20%, 12% on credit cards. So they're still winning. Bean is giving false information. What's going on with that? Let me see. Let's see. Okay. Anyway, I don't know what that is, but as I was saying, if it's negative interest rates, family, it's going to be a great opportunity to get you some stock in real estate or land, because the banks are charging you less for loans. You did? As far as the tax code, I always had a question about the tax code. Family, if you don't know what the tax code is, there's a difference between a tax code and tax rates. Right now, if you look at the tax code, it's over 70,000 pages long. And so what that tells you is this: the tax code is not really beneficial for those that's not in the know. So if you're doing things like investing, make sure that you get someone professional to handle your taxes. And as far as deductions are concerned, you know that right now they've already cut out the unreimbursed business expense deduction. Before, when you had your own business, you was able to get a tax break on things that you bought for your business. Now you can't get that. All right. And so if there are things that you're doing right now, you're paying yourself first. You're trying to get yourself in a position so when the market does crash, we do go into a recession, and you're able to get real estate, stocks, bonds. Make sure that you get someone professionally to do your taxes, because doing it on your own with when it over 70,000 pages in the tax code, there are a lot of things in there that you can benefit from. But if you don't know about it, you're not gonna know about it. All right. So, fam, I just want to come back live a couple of minutes tonight. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be something out there that, especially right now. Think about this, fam. I put also too on the live about vapes, and any of you guys out there that's associated with that stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you. Vaping. Just think about it from a health standpoint. It's nicotine, first of all. And if cigarettes are causing more diseases that are killing people than any other, uh, product out there, then why would we think that vaping, and taking it from some vape, will be healthier? It's coming from a liquid to a smoke. That's a chemical reaction. Now they saying only 6 people died from it, like it's over 453 cases of emergency patients involved with it. It's more than that. That stuff is dangerous. But you got to understand that it was the FDA approved it back in 2007. So the government approved companies to actually sell this. And the only way the government can approve it unless Congress approves it. So if you have a situation where they're selling nicotine vapes with bubblegum flavored, all these type of different flavors that are catering, actually marketed to the youth, then what that tells you did. So it's unfortunate that they talking about, you have the people talking about how it's dangerous right now. You have politicians on the television saying that they want to ban it. You just made it legal in 2007. And the only reason you made it legal is because these nicotine companies, the cigarette companies, allow you to do it by paying your money in your campaign. So it's really just a facade. I mean, these e-cigarettes been on the market 13 years. And if you think for one moment they're going to all of a sudden eliminate them, they're not. What they said, they're going to eliminate the flavored vapes. Well, you don't got the kids hooked on nicotine now. So what? You take away the flavored vapes, they're just going to go to the regular vapes, which are the nicotine cigarette flavor. Ridiculous. All right. So, hold on, let me see here. Let's get that. I don't know who that person is. But that's the one thing. That's the one thing about social media. Um, you have a choice. You don't have to be on. You don't have to be in the garden. You got a choice. So, in family in the garden, don't give that person attention. You did. I'm just gonna delete that message or whatever. I don't even know that person, so don't give it attention. That's what they want. I mean, you have all these different channels to go to, and so we're gonna keep it real on in the garden. You get some weeds sometimes. You just gotta pick them out and keep it going. You did. So, like I said, family, make sure that you're paying yourself first. It's a great opportunity right there pretty soon. And in the meantime, between time, family, may the Most High Society bring you joy. I'm gonna get out here and get ready to make this day tomorrow. And being with us out of 5,000.